Alrighty, welcome back everyone to our Groundskeeper chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger, and I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Christopher Bell.
Hello, hello.
Mr. Yip Yap and Chatty Cathy over there.
Right.
Chatterbox just won't keep it down.
Strong and silent type.
People, what would be great is if I were to post this episode first or something, and people actually think you're a chatterbox. But by the time they get to this is our 10th one, they're gonna be like, did he take off the headphones right as we started the episode? And
at one point I did.
You
yes.
did, and
I went and got some food yesterday in the middle of an episode.
Bagel bites and then pasta bar. So
you got a big job over there.
I'm like, I'll see you guys later. I'll be back in 10.
Yeah. You got a big job.
And the other voice you're hearing on today's episode is Dr. Chase Straw, who's got a new address under his resume now. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I wanted to just check in and see how, the big move went and how, you got to then immediately pack up another suitcase and make your way out here to California.
Yeah, it's been an eventful, honestly, last 6 months for me. But especially the last month, it's been chaotic with the move. We're there finally. So I moved from Texas A&M in College Station to Penn State, which is in State College, which I confuse that still.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a tongue twister for the rest of your life.
And my wife, she can't get either one of them right. We're just trying to figure, get settled. We're just at that point, just spending so much time getting driver's license plates, getting the kids in school.
Man.
And then at the same time, I'm getting thrown in the fire with teaching. So.
This is your first week of teaching. What a great
and then I'm
first
not even
impression
there.
you've made on
right.
the students.
The good thing is that there's 20 of them here.
Okay.
So a lot of the students they come to this and they come to the golf show. So
do you hand them the syllabus on the airplane or
the syllabus? They're lucky to even get a syllabus this semester with me. Yeah. They're gonna get one that was created back in 1990 from Dr. McNitt. Yeah.
Well, I heard that he may have been a chalkboard. That he kept using a chalkboard all through his time there.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I've been kind of worrying how I'm going to fill an hour and 15-minute class with material that I'm just learning probably the day before. And I'm watching videos that he left behind, and the way that he did it is he wrote the definition of soil on the chalkboard for the entire definition, and it takes about 5 minutes to write it out.
Amazing. Yeah. That's the hack.
Yeah, it's just draw stuff on the chalkboard. Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's good. I joke about not being prepared. That is where all my focus has been lately on the class. I want to do a good job. Andy left me a lot of really good material, the way that the classes are structured that I teach. Luckily, I teach the same class 3 different ways.
Okay.
So they have a World Campus, which is online. They have a 2-year program, the golf program, and then they have the 4-year resident program.
Okay.
And I teach soil physical properties, which is an interest of mine. I've just never taught it.
Yeah.
So thankfully, he left his material for me to use. It's just outdated.
Yeah.
Just the visuals are. The content.
Well,
the content's
it was filmed
perfect.
in 2004.
Yeah, I was joking with him last night. I was like, "You look like me in the videos."
Oh.
That's amazing.
He got a laugh out of him. So, but it's good. I'm excited. I'm excited to be at Penn State. Obviously, the history of the program is good. Texas A&M was amazing. I loved it there. We've talked multiple times about the research that was going on, the program that was being built, the people that were around, the support that I had. Super thankful for that opportunity to get there. And, I obviously wouldn't have had the opportunity at Penn State if I wasn't so successful there. And I was successful there because of the people that I was around. So, Penn State, there's a personal thing. We're closer to home. We're from Kentucky. So that played a big role in it. A major role in it, actually. And then Penn State's just a historic program, so a lot more resources. The alumni are all over the world, so it just opens up a lot of new opportunities that I might not have gotten, if I stayed in Texas. So.
Definitely. And I think what's so cool about being on the academic side of the industry is that chance to really make you have a chance to make an impact every single semester. Because you have the opportunity to work with students who are going to essentially be your legacy in a sense. I mean, I think of all the students that came out of Andy's program and who still, pay credit or respect to what they learned in his classroom. And I love that that's a really cool opportunity that all professors and people on the research side or the academic side really have the opportunity to do.
Yeah, it's it's definitely the most rewarding part.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, at the university, they want us to focus on grants and publications and
Fun.
funds and money and.
That's
But
what ChatGPT is for
yeah,
now,
exactly.
right?
Don't even get me started. Yeah, don't even get me started. I've changed a lot of people's lives with ChatGPT because I'm a big proponent of it.
I love it.
And I've heard so many people come back to me and say, I'm so thankful that you mentioned that, because I mention it a lot in my talks and I'm starting to use it in class. Some of my colleagues at Penn State really push it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can talk about ChatGPT in a minute, but yeah, going back to the students, that's by far the most rewarding part, because I can have a terrible day, maybe I'm getting hammered with a review of a manuscript and something's not going right with the research, but then you see like a former student and maybe they're off doing something great, or just somebody that's you've worked with, a graduate student or whatnot, seeing them move on and go in their career. And I've only been doing this for 5 years, so being able to see even just in that short period of time, some of my students at Texas A&M go on to do what they've done. That was another thing that excited me about Penn State. I mean, we have hundreds of kids in the program. So we had 30 something at Texas A&M. So there was an opportunity to see, 5 or 6 each year graduate. But now I'm going to get a lot of people that graduate and hopefully can keep up with them all. And the alumni base is super strong at Penn State. So I'm really excited about that part of the job.
It's so cool.
Yep.
And one of the things that you first brought on my radar, and this probably would have been almost 5 years ago, is that you said places like Texas A&M and Penn State, they're these huge schools that all these students apply to, and the requirements to get into those schools are, you've got to be your top of the class.
Yep.
And how that, really, negatively impacts our ability to get people in these turf programs. Did you see any glimmer of hope in kind of changing that landscape during the last 5 years, or have any words of wisdom or courage that we could maybe say times are changing, or that there's maybe a blueprint that these kids could follow?
Yeah, that's a tough question because each university is different, and I haven't figured out. I would assume that Penn State has very similar requirements as a Texas A&M. We were trying to just be more creative in the way that we were reaching the students, so that we would reach more. And I feel like we're getting, and as a result, we're getting more applications, and as a result, we're getting more people accepted. Now, with that said, the acceptance rate is still well below what we want it to be, and well below typically the university acceptance rate, specifically for a Turfgrass major. And we need to come up with better ways, better pathways. And no, we have, at least in Texas, we didn't make any progress. We were trying to work through the local community colleges, but there's not a lot of, I don't want to say there's not a lot of interest, but there's not a lot of resources there to set the pathway for one specific major, right? They're trying to help all students. So to go out of their way to try to funnel people into Turfgrass, that's a really hard thing to do. Yeah. But there needs to be something better. But we're trending that way. I'm really involved with the new FFA career development event that's going to take place at the golf show. It's going to rotate between golf and the sports field show. So in Fort Worth, it will be at SFMA. I think we have 12 teams signed up, which is a huge win. Cool. Are you all familiar with this at all? Has anybody talked about this?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Maybe Chris.
Vaguely, I heard a little bit about it this week.
Okay.
But explain,
so a little bit of background on it. So this is something that we've been working towards at the state level forever.
Okay.
There are a handful of states that have done it. Pennsylvania does one. Arkansas does one. Joey Young at Texas Tech is really pushing to get one done at Texas. And it's basically an event through FFA. It's very similar. It's a parallel to the Student Challenge, like the Collegiate Turf Bowl, but for high school kids.
Okay.
And historically, FFA has always done this competition at their national show in Indianapolis.
Okay.
Well, they've maxed out Indianapolis, so they're actually there was always 2 rules that held back Turfgrass. One is it had to be at the national show, and no Turfgrass people go to the national show, FFA show. And the second one was you have to have a state competition to actually go to national. And so they've changed the rules on that. So that you can host that event off-site now.
Okay.
So now we can have them at the
professional.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, Weston just tried to come in
Yeah.
and stump you, but
He doesn't faze me.
You just boiled
Yeah,
on through.
He doesn't faze me. So with those two rule changes, we can now host that event off-site, which is going to be way more enticing to get people into our industry because, FFA is great, but for a kid that wants to go into Turfgrass, I would say, bringing them to SFMA or GCSA is going to really help lure them in,
sure.
right? So getting them here is going to be huge. We already have the place, the format set with the test. We have the Collegiate Turf Bowl as a model for that. And then once they're here, we hope they get hooked. And then that'll be a pathway. So we already have 12 teams involved, which four kids per team. So, almost 36 kids are or is that 48 kids? Yeah. 48 kids are coming to the golf show. I think in Fort Worth, a centralized location, we might get like 100 kids.
That's really cool.
And you would think if they, invest in the time to take, do this, that they would be interested in Turfgrass. So hopefully we're hoping that leads into be something bigger.
I love it.
And it's something that I've seen from the very get-go kind of develop, and it's really cool that it's finally here. Yeah. It's an invitational this year in San Diego, but after this year, it will be an official career development event at SFMA.
Cool.
So
that's a great way to grow.
It's a no-brainer.
Industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've said all week that I will not be at Fort Worth.
Oh boy.
But now that could change some things for me. Maybe I'll change my timeline around.
You don't want to come to the stockyards?
I keep telling my boss that there may be a maternity leave.
Oh yeah.
That I have in the works. Who knows?
That's important. Who knows? Somebody knows, I'm sure.
Let's keep him guessing. So we'll see. That just might change things up for me. Who knows? But no, very cool, and that's really exciting. And I think what you said, you hope people get hooked on it. And I really think that it is as simple as that. Getting them here and having them experience not only, the trade show and the folks and the great challenge, but really if you come here and you see the culture and the camaraderie, I think it's you're sold.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking with Pam Sherritt last night, and she was giddy because she said the students that she was able to bring, they were all golf, and they were like, no, we're not going to the show. We're not going to the show. She's like, please, just come to California. Look at this as an opportunity to go to California. And she was giddy. She's like, it took 2 days for half of them to be like, oh, I think I'm going to do sports turf.
Yeah.
And how exciting that is. And really it's that simple, just exposing them to sports turf and all the
professionals here. And there's a lot of opportunities in both golf and sports. So I really hope that we continue to rotate. GCSAA has a little bit more resources than SFMA, so if it grows to be very massive, it's going to be a partnership. We've worked really well with both associations to make this happen. We're going to have to come up with curriculum. It's very golf heavy this year, so it'll hopefully be very sports heavy next year. So there's a lot of logistical things we'll have to work out, and if it gets to be really big, which hopefully it does, hopefully we can pull in industry partners to help sponsor these things.
Very cool.
And I'm sure our industry won't back down from that kind of opportunity.
Definitely. Sky's the limit.
Yep.
So
it's
cool.
exciting.
And that curriculum building, that's right back to ChatGBT.
Yeah, well, the ICEV that SFMA helped develop, the Turfgrass 101. I don't know if that's the official name.
Okay, yeah. Do you know a little bit? I would love for you to, because now there's it's almost like accreditation or something through SFMA.
It's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And it's, there's that.
Okay.
So that's the accreditation, yes, Turfgrass 101. But there's also just a basic turfgrass management curriculum now that high schools can use to teach turfgrass. And SFMA was heavily involved in the development of that. Because that's always been one thing that we've gotten from high schools is they don't know how to teach turfgrass and make it exciting.
Yeah.
So they teach lawn care, which I don't want to say that's not exciting, but we do sports
it
turf
doesn't
and
dazzle
golf.
the same way.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we now have curriculum that we can pass on when people ask. And we're using that curriculum to help them prepare for things like the career development event with FFA and whatnot. So that's another big major thing that I think is going to help lure students into the industry. So, and props to SFMA for that because they definitely led the way with that. Definitely.
And you're on the board currently? Will you be in the next year as well?
Yep, I got one more year. And then when I was talking with some other board members, we'll see where I am just with everything. I got a lot going on.
Well, yeah, no, it's just, no doubt.
I love it. And don't get me wrong, I love it. The people are great. I like kind of being in control of the education to a certain extent.
Yeah.
The committee is great, the education committee. I think we've made progress over the last couple of years since I've been doing this on better evaluating the proposals we have. We have more discussion on the topics that we do to really make sure that we're covering a large area within our education. Are there some hiccups? Yes. Leave it to my advisor. He was a no-show for this conference yesterday. He wrote down the wrong time, so he didn't show up. Gerald Henry.
Nice.
So I've been giving him crap all week.
Well,
so that's
we'll put that in the SEO so this reaches him for sure.
Yeah, please do. That's the one big hiccup we've had so far was him. I'm like, I got to babysit my own advisor. He felt bad. Yeah. The good thing is he's a repeat session this afternoon, so he'll be people will get him. Yeah.
Perfect. And I wonder, like, being a part of the board and being so ingrained with the association, you know, having that constant in your career, does that help you make a big change? Like going from, you know, a spot that you were comfortable at and we're in a good groove down in Texas to now, you know, making a big change. Does that help with your decision, give you the confidence that, you know, at least you'll have this constant force of support and camaraderie and everything like that?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I get that question a lot, especially like, what are you going to do at Penn State now? And to be honest, it's literally the exact same thing I was doing before. I got to teach a couple new classes, and I'm going to be living in a different place. But the program kind of packs up with me and goes. Yeah, I mean, it's very rewarding serving on these types of committees. Like I was telling some other people, I think early in your career as an academic, you need to do that to get promoted and promotion and tenure. So I think I've said yes a lot, and I'm to that point now where I need to watch it so that I don't overdo it. And so you got to it's a balance. So yes, it's all rewarding and it does help. It's nice that as stressed as I was before this conference about teaching and getting prepared for that, you know, it's nice to come to these things and there's the industry there. And I need to not forget that this is why I'm doing what I do back home. And it's rewarding from that standpoint that, all right, as stressed as I am from teaching, you know, this is still awesome. And
of course,
you know, I'll get settled there eventually and things will work out and won't be so busy like it is now.
Definitely. You won't be like living among moving boxes.
Yes. Yeah. In rooms that are furnitureless.
Yep. How's the family adjusting? You think how long you think it takes for everyone to settle in?
My 6-year-old loves it. He's my middle one.
Okay.
Because they go sledding at recess.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, so he's never even seen snow, and like the first day of school, he gets to go sledding. And they don't have one recess; they have 2 recesses. So
is it a hippy dippy school?
Probably.
I'm setting mine to hippy dippy, and they start outside, and then they go like after an hour, they're back outside, and then they have one more.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great. So he loves it because he just thinks it's great.
Yeah.
The 4-year-old doesn't know what's going on. He loves it. He's fine. He'll be okay. The 10-year-old was the hardest one. He's my oldest. But he's doing great. You know, we're getting updates from the teacher, and he's fitting in really well. And
very sweet.
Yeah. So
what are your kids'
doing
names?
good.
Remind me.
Ryan's the oldest. Samuel's the middle one, and Charlie's the
3 boys.
Yep.
Living my dream. Oh my gosh.
The funny thing is, we've had a boy in each state.
Oh, that's so cool.
So Ryan was born in Georgia, Samuel, Minnesota, and Charlie in Texas. So
that is so cool.
We're not keeping the trend going.
I was going to say, who's going to be in Pennsylvania? That's amazing.
We're done.
3 boys. I have 3 older brothers. And, you know, they just weren't enough, so I had to come along and, you know, really bring my parents
That's what
the
we
joy.
would hope for, but we wouldn't
You wouldn't get it, for sure.
Well, I mean, since I've been gone, I think my oldest son wears glasses. He breaks a pair on average like once per month.
Nice.
And I mean, these things are like $50 glasses. My middle son put a hole in the wall from pulling the towel off the towel rack. You know, it's just all the time something.
Well, yeah.
My youngest one likes to take the Sharpie to the carpet. So,
nice.
Likes to draw on the carpet. So it's just always something with kids.
It is. You guys should get in with Warby Parker because if your lenses don't break, they will replace your frame for free. Yep.
Well, we really want him to be in we're not going to push him to contacts, but we just feel like try them.
Yeah.
And so he's always been hesitant on contacts, and we're kind of using that as leverage now. It's like you keep breaking your glasses.
Yeah, one more glasses.
Yeah, my wife told me this morning, by the age of 12, you were going to wear contacts, and we're using that as like leverage.
I love
you don't have an option because you keep breaking your glasses, you're going to wear contacts.
Yep. I started with contacts. Like my mom didn't even give me glasses. She gave me contacts in the 2nd grade.
Wow.
And so I was like a pro. I could practically pull my eyeball out if I needed to. And then when I started, that's how I found out I was pregnant with my first, was I couldn't see out of my contacts anymore. And I actually left work and I went and I thought I had like an ocular migraine or whatever. And the optometrist was like, well, what's your whatever? I was like, oh shit. Yeah, that might be it.
Shoot. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
shit.
Really? Messes your vision? I didn't know
Yeah.
the vision got
Yep. And
up.
I have not been able to wear contacts since.
Wow.
Yep. So, but no, contacts are great, especially if he's going to play sports. Then it's like those glasses would be breaking every other day.
Yeah, with just 3 boys. I mean, they just fight all the time.
For
So
sure.
It's everybody's fault. You know, it's his fault because he wears them when they wrestle. And then I think that he broke it. Today he broke his glasses because the middle one threw a ball at him and hit him in the face or something.
Nice.
So I mean, it's just always something.
Nice.
It's just like, yeah, just another expense. You know, it's just money.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to your next chapter. And one exciting thing about 2025 is that you are actually one of our 2025 Pioneers in the Field class members. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
You guys are a strong class this year. But we're kind of switching up how we do the campaign. And, you know, in the past, it was launched here at SFMA. And it was kind of everything big was kind of put out there at once. But, you know, you and I talked a few weeks ago, and we'll actually be launching in April. And that will include a full, you know, nice profile on you, but hopefully a trip down to Penn State and really give you and your, you know, your program some love and spotlight so that, you know, because that's the goal at the end of the day.
Yep.
You know, showcasing and spotlight obviously your career, but how that creates visibility for our industry as a whole.
Cool.
So we're really excited to have you along for the ride, and you recognize some of the names along that list. Ryan DeMay is another one, which I forgot to mention. I mean, he knows, but I didn't give him a shout out during his episode yesterday.
You were grounding him a little bit. You know?
Yeah. Well, you know,
There you go. He doesn't need an ego boost. He's fine. Just kidding.
And Ryan Majorn is another big one, and Andy Levy with the Arizona Cardinals. And then the one I told you I was really excited about was Marianne Baglos with Worldwide Disney Sports.
Very cool.
And Ray Loudis and I, we keep figuring out how do I turn that into a family Disney trip.
Of course you are.
Make it it's the whole class should go.
I agree.
Yeah, bring the whole
friends and family event.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's a big honor. So thank you.
Definitely.
It's great.
And I think we can definitely dive further into ChatGBT at that time because like you, I'm a massive advocate.
Yeah. And hopefully I'll have a program by the time you get there.
Maybe we'll write your whole profile via ChatGPT.
Hey, let's do it.
Wouldn't that be a really nice, like personalized, nice?
I think I've even
piece.
convinced Dr. Goatley to use ChatGPT.
I love it. I love it. Well, I will say that is something that I don't know. They have it blocked at Pioneer HQ.
Really?
Apparently, Alistair had it blocked.
Well, so you know the funny thing about starting in new places. So like at Texas A&M, I got it approved to I used research money to pay for my ChatGPT subscription.
I love it.
So I get to Penn State and I start just asking all these questions, and they're like, nobody has asked if they can buy the ChatGPT yet. And I'm like, well, can I?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know if we have a rule. And I was like, well, I'm going to, and just submit it and we'll see. So,
yeah. Well,
so that's
I
all
love
you can
it.
do is ask.
I love it. Yep. No, there's never a no out there. It could always be a yes.
Yep.
So, well, Chase, thank you so much. And I appreciate you spending time with us today, but more so in the upcoming months as we, work on your profile and really help you move into this next role, but also play homage to, the great time you had in Texas.
Yep.
So
Got to. Can't forget about that because it was a good time.
Well, thank you so much,
Yep.
sir.
Thank you all.